and welcome for the 3 Hard AI Challenge Part 2. We have Lany and
our Cyfe 6.
You probably already saw our previous video where Cyfe actually, as a matter of fact, played against 3 Hard AI and gave them quite a beating. And to take things one step up, geographically speaking, we are doing the space version of that now. As a matter of fact, we are currently watching a replay, Cyfe and I, because when I streamed the challenge, it is me playing, we had some technical difficulties and didn't transmit my voice commentary. So what we're doing now is we rewatch this and can give a commentary and even make it better because we have 2 players commentating at the same time.
Yeah, it's super good. I'm looking forward to it. In this case here, yeah, it's unfortunate Lany had to be talking to himself for the entirety of this match and realizing his insanity at the end of it. So I do feel sorry for you, sir.
Okay, but that gives us the opportunity to rewatch that because there was interesting stuff happening. Space versus hard AI is very map dependent. That's the first thing we have to stress, I think, because there are some maps where it's pretty trivial, and there are some maps where it's really hard. And to not make this too easy, I took Endor as a map because when I tried this off stream before, I felt like Endor is right at the edge where it's possible, but it's really hard. So I gave myself a good challenge there.
I also picked Rebels too. Of all the things, I'm quite surprised you picked that faction. I figured you'd pick Empire just because it'd be a little bit easier in terms of just less microing in this case because the AI is very spam happy.
Yeah, as I said, wanted to make it harder on me. One thing that's quite interesting here is that we actually use a little glitch in the game where normally you can only pick 2 players. As you can see, the other slots are locked. But if you pick a larger map, add the AI, and then go back to the smaller map, the AI slots get locked, but they don't get removed. So you can actually play with more AI than is normally allowed. And this is how we got this rolling.
It's interesting. I actually didn't even realize that until I saw you do that in the stream. I was like, oh, that's a glitch. Interesting.
Cheater.
Haxer.
Yeah. You played the land version. What do you think is the hardest part about the AI?
I think that with land, the difference between land and space, I'll start with that first. I mean, it's huge in terms of one factor, and the fact that land, I can choose only certain areas where I can land units. Same thing as the AI, you have reinforcement points. Whereas in space, as long as you have vision and there's not an asteroid field or a nebula, like you can spawn a unit in anywhere, excuse me. And that's really the determining factor, to be quite honest, because the AI is just so spam and trigger happy that it'll just constantly flood units into the map. And you literally just get through the quantity versus quality treatment there. And it's really quite a challenge because the quantity is just never ending. They just throw wave after wave of, well, anything basically. And then sure, you can destroy it, but after a while, you know, your units start taking damage and then they end up dying too. So the land portion was easier in that case, I would say, just because, again, it definitely is map dependent too. That's the same similarity. I was able to get choke points in Naboo. There's only 2 areas where you can get from one base to the other. It's either through the top or you have to go through the bottom. And once I secure...
Yeah, you were able to secure the comlink the uplink where you can reveal all of the map.
Yeah, I did secure the comlink upgrade. For that, it just made the game... I did that because it made it shorter for me because it was a lot more challenging in terms of not having that. I could still win without it, but seeing is much easier. And when the AI... One of the biggest things that like I said in the stream, was using Boba Fett, and they just fly around the map and just like take the reinforcement point behind there. And it was just super troll. And it's like if you didn't constantly watch it, like you would lose it, and all of a sudden there'd be an army that would just spawn over there, and you'd look away for 30 seconds, and very punishing.
Yeah, I think the game is starting in like a minute or so on the stream. So let's go back to space. You already told it's very different in that the AI can call in the reinforcements everywhere. And actually, the AI is pretty spammy. We all know it cheats, right? it can call in more units than it has money for. But one thing I actually noticed is once the AI has 0 money, because it has an internal account, the spamming gets much, much less. So in space, the goal pretty much is to get the AI to that point, well, without being blown up, pretty much.
Well, that makes things challenging when it spams lots of bombers.
Uh-huh. Yeah. One thing I was thinking about when playing this map is what to do with my starting money and units, right? Because I only have so much and the AI pretty much has everything. I don't know what happened there, to be honest. Can't remember. Kessel? No, that's not the map. Okay, had some difficulties in trying to get the game running, but this time we're good to go.
Multiple user difficulties we've had during the stream, it seems as though.
Shame on me. And here we go. So what do you think is the correct way to play this?
It's interesting. I've tried, years ago, I tried a 3v3 in space with AI, and I just couldn't do it just because of, again, I didn't know how to really do the containment type strategy like I did in land. I actually think that I'm better against the AI now than I was even years ago when I was a better player.
Yeah.
But space is just, I mean, it's really difficult for me because I was like, I figured that you have to get kind of choke points too. I feel like the AI doesn't really fly through the nebula too much just because they knows that it's a program disadvantage, so they don't necessarily go there. Maybe in this case, I would go for the turrets in the middle because if it sees a turret, it usually stops advancing. That was one thing that I noticed. Ooh, you missed the bottom left mine there. Interesting. With the X-Wing.
I tried to go back around and destroy it in the first pass, but it was alive by like 1 HP or something. Felt like 1 HP.
It looked like 1 HP, that's for sure. Yeah, I mean, I feel as though that if it has some sort of obstruction in its way, like that's part of the containment strategy with AI. I liked how you teched right away because you're like, well, Tech 1 Rebels on this map has just got no chance, so let me not even mess around with
also,
that. And
the AI is teching, right? 100% of the time.
One of them is.
Yeah, one of them is, which is another problem because the others can build units. Yeah, so what I did on this map as my initial strategy is take both of my mines because I need every single credit that I can get because the AI will probably destroy my mines. And then I completely ditched the middle because it's like a money issue. If I build 2 mines, then I can build one more thing. And in the middle there is 3 turrets, so even if I build 1 turret there, then the AI will build 2, and, well, yeah.
Very true, there is that to contest.
Oh, look at that, look at that. That's another thing. They spawn like 4 to 6 bombers at once, and there is another one of those blobs.
There's bound to get some proton torpedo shots off in that.
Yeah, and normally you would think that the corvettes are good against bombers, right?
Well,
but
again,
that stops at a that stops at a certain point. Yeah, had a bit of a mismicro there. But just look at that Corvette getting shred. Pew pew.
Just getting.
And then look at that. This is relentless. Yeah.
It's brutal.
It's 3 minutes into the game, and yeah, already looking pretty hopeless.
I think your biggest issue with what you did is you chose to put the Corvette in the upper left as opposed to your base. You can't be too greedy with map control, especially with Rebels. I mean, you're not Empire. With your Empire, could be a little bit more greedy, but I mean, with AI, you just got to do slow advances and just take, inch by inch. Like I did in my land game, I only had the mines that were next to my base, and then like I was contesting the middle. I contested all parts of the map just because I was Rebels. It allowed me to as a faction, and I could spare, a couple of units going over there in terms of like Rebel soldiers. But other than that, I focused everything in the middle and to the left.
Yeah, I actually think that doesn't work in space. For one simple fact is that the AI will just keep teching, and you can't. You can never tech up from tech 2.
Right.
So
No,
there will be a
that's true.
point where there's Star Destroyers and shit. So just holding off, maybe if it can work. It hasn't been my strategy in this game.
That Han warp wasn't the best, I have to say.
Actually, if you watch it in slow-mo, I couldn't see any enemy there when I warped it in. And only the reveal showed me like, oops.
Yeah, oops. For games like this, it would be ideal to have, you'd have to kind of bunch your Corvettes together. You'd have to have like 2 in a pair, 2 in a pair, because as you say, like one singular Corvette unit is just getting absolutely decimated.
Yeah.
And you got 2 Boba Fett's on there, you got TIE fighters that are just kind of doing its thing.
Yeah, and then I need to do 2 things
ooh.
at the same time, right? I need to destroy the enemy mines to get them to that 0 mine, 0 money point where they stop spamming. And at the same time, somehow defend my mines in my station and...
I want to go back for just a brief moment there. You just used Waypoint right there, and you just did it again. That's actually an excellent use of using Waypoint. I always have a difficulty using it because for whatever reason it never registers my movements when I click things on there, but that's an excellent way to utilize it, especially with Han Solo, because he's so, well, he dodges, basically.
Yeah, just keep him moving and he dodges, right?
He's a very nimble unit.
I should have attacked the mine there, not the bombers. What am I doing? Interdictor coming here. You will in a moment see that interdictors are actually pretty strong against Han Solo.
This is the anti-Solo unit.
Yeah. Watch...
After the secret meta we've been looking for all this series.
After the mine is destroyed, I will send my Han Solo at the top edge of the map and then watch his health bar in the top right corner, because I won't have the camera on it. Now I send it away. And just watch the health bar.
Oh my god, it is getting decimated. What? What happened?
I was like, hey, how did he lose the health? And yep,
Did it
interdictor.
just like all power to weapons or something? Like,
I have no idea.
and the interdictor itself is pretty OP. You just saw there when he just went to warp in that Corvette, that little area of that you can't actually warp anything in. Like that's devastating. Like it's worse in Forces of Corruption. It's not as bad in EaW. It's like twice the size in Forces of Corruption. It's super strong.
And now look at this. There's Vaders, there's Bobas, there's Acclimators, Bombers. All the time they had this mine. I couldn't keep vision there, couldn't destroy it, and now they have the money to spam. Or like the allowance to spam. Just for the way that the AI is implemented.
Yeah, and poor Lany, pretty much, yeah, he got cream pied.
I was pretty down after that one, really, because I did 2 test runs off stream before that, and I won both of them, as a matter of fact. So I was pretty confident that I can do that, and then I start the stream, do this, and I get completely overrun. Do you remember those 4 green bombers, top right mine, right after Tech 2? That was so tough. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like is that instead of attacking the mine, it would have been better if you defended your mine. And defending your mine is more important to me than killing the mine, because the AI is just going to cheat and get endless money anyways. So you may as well just defend your source of income, because if you don't, then well.
Yeah, infinite money, but only up to a point. It's actually not infinite money. It's infinite units, as long as they have money.
As long as they have money, interesting.
Yeah. So
it's an interesting program.
You will see it in the try that I win. I will not say if it's this one. You will see that at some point, when I manage to destroy all mines, like 2 minutes later, the spam stops. Okay, try the same thing again. Go back. And I'm stupid.
Yep. Ripperino, that's 2 times in a row.
Feels bad, man.
Feels bad, it looks bad.
Yeah, what I did when I saw that I couldn't destroy it in the first pass is I queued an Y-Wing, because that's the cheapest way to accomplish that. And then my next goal was, I thought to myself, I need to destroy the middle.
Well, you have a lot of time to micro that unit, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Not much else going on. Although you forgot the mine tech, though.
That's true. Mistake. So my next goal is to try and get a Nebulon, actually, because with a Nebulon I can try and destroy the mid.
That relentless AI spam. 5 bombers. Oh my god.
And it's the hangar, which is really bad because I need those 3 X-Wings as scout units. Yep, but what can I do?
That's, yeah. Ouch. That's a really excellent way to maneuver the Y-Wing. It fires off, and it's very good at flipping backwards, so as long as you hit a 180-degree angle right behind where the Y-Wings are flying, you can pull them right back, they'll flip right back, and then you could send them right back in, and it's a quicker maneuver in order to get bomber runoff. However, it's incredibly micro-intensive and time-consuming. Is something that I don't typically advise if you need to focus on other areas of the map, but if you're strapped for money, it certainly helps.
Yeah, and there's more bombers.
Base.
One thing I did is just let my Y-Wings have vision of the mine, so maybe I can get another kill in.
And that AI, it's like, we're just gonna bomber rush Lany.
Now the acclimators come in.
You wanted to get a Nebulon, but that bomber rush said, no sir,
I had
today.
to take defensive units there. Yeah, acclimator making short work of my mine. But I have the other one still. Not all is lost.
You will be able to defend that one pretty well this time because you bunched your corvettes and you got Han Solo right there.
And 2 corvettes.
The turbo laser.
Right, 2 corvettes actually kill an acclimator every time. Yeah, keeping an eye on.
Not a lot of. It's different between a one-on-one just because you don't have those one-on-one battles. You have a one-on-3, so I mean you have to like be smart with how you use your units. Like that was a really good maneuver, bringing in the Corvette with Han Solo right there, insta wipe a unit of bombers. Like those are the types of things that really will, well, pretty much save him in terms of what needs to happen. So
yeah, I think I need to be really efficient in destroying enemy units. But if 3 enemies have 20 pop cap on the map, game is over.
Saw that interdictor pulling in, but you see though, like that you have that Corvette right there. They stopped going towards your upper right mine and allowed you to build it. Well, I mean now that the acclimator is just being dumb, just kind of flying in circles. But I mean, that's really kind of like how the AI thinks. Like, oh, there's something here. I need to fight it, sort of thing, and then just like let it grab my attention. So I mean, it's really helpful in terms of trying to get things. We're trying to prevent the AI from just advancing all over the map. Yeah. Now, eventually, you have nothing up there in the upper left-hand corner, and Boba Fett pops up there, and you know, that whole thing changes.
The AI Boba Fett is surprisingly good in its maneuvers, because you can't stop to get behind it. It will just turn away.
My God, that interdictor does so much damage to Han Solo. I've never realized that.
No, me neither.
that's insane. Like it does so much damage to Han Solo. Like that's the counter of like A-wings to Boba Fett, except you know interdictors don't die.
Yeah, that's the pocket threat. Yeah, realizing that I need to attack, but now I have a Nebulon. Careful positioning there.
May have been better to put your Nebulon in the upper right mine to secure your income. You may want to. The thing is with the AI is like you want to attack and you know you need to, but you need to make sure that you're 100% in place. Luckily, those bombers didn't. Although they didn't actually go after your Nebulon.
Yeah,
that Nebulon is not going to last very long.
There's green bombers coming too. And Vader. Vader is actually so annoying because he kills your Han Solo.
Yeah, and it's hard to kill Vader just because you can retank up on your TIE fighters after they die, so...
Yeah.
Good job trying to keep that Corvette alive, but we'll see if it's fruitless or not.
Game is hard.
But again, you see all those units right there? Like, they're all focusing on your on your Nebulon and Corvette as opposed to your base.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
they're all chasing it. So, I mean, like, that's sort of the idea of the containment strategy. Like, if you have things there that are, like, keeping the AI's attention, then it doesn't just overrun everywhere else, per se.
I'm watching the minimap all the time, but the sensor dog is dead. Nothing to see. I missed micro there and lost shields on my Nebulon.
Ouch.
Ouch.
And now Interdictor is having its way with the Nebulon. Well, has to help
Yeah,
Tartan and 2X.
Was better than the first try, right?
Improvements were made.
But still, lost hard to the hard AI. This was so hard playing that. I felt like I was at my top level of APM, trying everything, and still, no way.
That is a shame, unfortunately. You get to the stream and then all of a sudden, it's like the AI starts playing better, or you're just playing worse, maybe.
Maybe. But hey, I knew I could do it, so I had to keep trying, right?
Well, hey, we're on third time is the charm right now, right? We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I needed to get better in also attacking the enemy, not only... I mean, I needed to do both, right? Keep the enemy mines down and defend my stuff.
It's hard to do with Rebels just because the units are so much more expensive. Like, once you have them on the field, it's great, but getting them on the field is very challenging because it's expensive. But you do need to keep pressure up at the same time, be able to defend, you know, what you have.
Yeah. One little efficiency thing I did there at the beginning is I teched before I sent my units anywhere, which is normally the other way around. But against AI, I need that tech too as soon as possible. Because these like 2 or 3 seconds can be the difference between 5 bombers destroying my hangar or me destroying the bombers.
And yeah, missed microed on the bottom left again there.
Yep. Yeah, I was talking all the time and it didn't help. Now let's see what happens top left. Did they build it? No, they didn't build it, which is good, I guess.
It is good. I mean, you're able to at least... It's that kind of containment strategy. They can't get map control, so you're allowing them to... Or you're trying to bait them into building it, though. I don't know if that's necessarily the most viable strategy. It's very risky. You didn't get it, see? Again...
I don't have the laser upgrade, yeah, but I don't have money for that. I really don't.
So it's just better to just like keep a unit there and like maybe just run it around, use the waypoint or something so it doesn't die, and then just stop the AI from building it in this case, and then you don't have to worry about it. Now you have to build 2 Y-wings, and now it's getting free shots at your upper right mine. It's really weird because it's like you have to play the AI as such a different strategy than you do against players.
Yeah, but that's really interesting, and actually it was fun. It looks like a pain in the arse, but it was really fun. Because I really had to rethink how I play, had to adapt.
Which was weird because it was like years ago and I better. Like my micro was an old man micro. Like I struggle against AI on land too. Like there was multiple times that I had to, because I played it and I like to do it as like an exercise every now and then, and because of my style of play, like it wasn't very adaptable. I was just so used to playing against players, and then I didn't adapt to the AI like cheating mentality. I struggled against it. I felt like I did such a better job now than I ever did before. And my micro is 10 times worse than what it ever was before.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that goes to show you that, you know, talent isn't everything. You do need to have a sensibility of adaptability and
also just game understanding, to understand what the
game
AI is doing,
knowledge.
to abuse that.
It's really true though. Game knowledge is huge.
I actually was pretty happy with the start so far, because there wasn't a big blob of bombers attacking my station. I mean, yes, they destroyed the mine, but I got 2 of theirs, and maybe 3 if they build it?
I do feel
Yes,
as
they built
though...
Oh, shit.
You should... Yeah,
Oh,
you
okay.
got it, so... Oh, you're going back for more pressure again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This time I had less pressure on my side, so I could do more on the other side of the map. And
Really does
now
make
you'll
a
be able to
difference.
see what I meant with Boba. He'll follow you, and then if you do the trick and stop, he'll just turn away. Oh, he doesn't. Okay, most of the time he does.
Well, you get free shots on him, so...
Here, like that. Okay.
Nope, but AI is like, nope, gotta bring back the bombers.
Yeah.
We know what can... We know Lany's weakness. Relentless bomber spam.
Ouch! Suddenly
Okay.
Tartan.
Yeah, that Tartan got a good wave of shots on there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know one thing. Oh god, there's more bombers. It's brutal.
What's that? 7.
That's 7? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, let me just get my Corvette out of there. We'll just go to the bottom left mine and go attack that.
But they don't attack right now, so that's fine. Whew.
Now, I know one thing that would be really OP, if you had a repair station,
Mm.
that would really make a world of difference in terms of saving you money.
Yeah. I kinda lost all my mines though.
Yeah, it was better. It was better.
Okay. Rethink, refocus. You can do that. Just don't lose the mines, I guess.
Mind defense, mind defense, mind defense. Even in, I mean, in reality, even in any sort of match that you have with normal opponents, as regular human beings, mind defense is honestly one of the most underrated factors in terms of determining whether you win or lose. Really is. Like, if you can defend your mine
Yeah.
and you can save that and you get more money out of it, I mean, it really just makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah. Later in the game. I mean, in 1v1 at the beginning you don't. But later in the game it can make all the difference.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, we're talking. I should clarify in terms of it would be mid game,
Yeah.
not beginning game. So there's definitely 3 phases of the game. There's the mid game, there's this beginning game, there's the mid game, and then there's the end game. Now, personally, to me, the end game is important of the 3. It's really your beginning game and really your mid game is the biggest thing. Like, you need to have, as long as you have a solid start in the beginning game. Now, again, I'm speaking from a LAN perspective, so let me outside that bias there, because I played against people whose beginning games are so strong and it's so relentless, and it's like, oh my gosh, if I don't keep up with this person, like, I'm going to lose, or you think that you're going to lose.
Yeah.
I use my game knowledge, and because of my, even back then, like, my micro was good, but it wasn't like superior talent per se, but it was really good. But I used my game knowledge, and I used look at this bomber spam. Look at, well, at least they put it in the bottom left mine.
Yes.
See, you're contesting over there, so they're like, oh well, let me warp in units over here. Very strange mentality of the AI, but if it sees something, it wants to kill it. So better there than warping it in on your side of the map there. Anyways, back to what I was saying. But yeah, I remember playing against people whose starts were better than mine, but if I outlived their starts, after that, they had no mid game, and then my mid game just took over. and whether that would be in terms of landing you could tech, or whether it would be just adapting to how, you know, the fallout of the beginning game was. And usually I consider the beginning game would be basically what you can do with your starting credits, and then maybe about 3,000 credits afterwards in terms of mine production. After that, like, you transition, it's definitely mid-game point. 3,000 depending on it's map dependent, because some maps you don't get that opportunity. But yeah, what would you say, speaking of that sort of thing there, I mean, when does it really transition from the beginning game to the mid game for you in this game?
I mean, I'm not a land player, so I can only speak to for space. And for me, early game is as long as you have starting money to spend. And in the early game, much as it is on land, you have to be really, really efficient and relentless, because only if you can be optimal in your starting movements and efficiency in attacking the enemy mines, then you are set up to even go into the mid game on an equal footing.
Right.
Because in space you can win just off that early game. If your opponent has a bad early game and you don't, you have won after 2-3 minutes. And only when both
maneuver there. I just want to point out what you did with that Corvette. You put the all power to weapons, and then you just circled it around to escape the damage from there. It was actually pretty smart. Although it it took 2 last shots before it finished up there. But sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I wanted to acknowledge that maneuver was good.
Yeah, and then once both players have solid early game, then the real game in the mid game begins, where it's about movement, about vision, it's about all these things.
And I don't want to downplay, at least from the land perspective, the importance of the beginning game. Like, you do need to have, when I say solid, like, I mean you need to have, like, if I were to rate levels in terms of like 1 to 5, like, it needs to be minimally a 4, more like a 4.5. You don't need to have a 5 in terms of like, oh, it needs to be pointed on excellent, but it needs between to be a 4 and a 4.5 for your start, like, in terms of how good it needs to be. And as long as you have that, if your mid game is stronger, like, that's what's gonna really, you know, win you the game.
Yeah, that's true.
Space, I feel as though that you do need to have a stronger start though in land, and that's just because of how the game mode plays out. And whereas, you know, in land you have to spawn units and spend time to get them to where you need them to be, as in space you can just kind of show up anywhere.
Yeah, I'd agree. Early game is probably even more important than space.
At least in 1v1. Well, no, even in team matches.
Even in team matches, because in team matches you are very much on a timer.
Team matches is a little less, like, you could have a start that's maybe, like, again, I say like a 4 or 4.5, like, in terms of, you know, optimization. It's a little bit less as opposed to a 1v1. Like, a 1v1, if you have a bad start, like, you pretty much just throw the game. Whereas, you know, a team game, like, oh, okay, like, I made a mistake here, but let's pick up for it, sort of thing. Like, it wasn't a major mistake, but it was a minor mistake. Like, we can pick up for it later, per se.
Yeah. Now back to this one. Would you look at that?
You are applying a lot more pressure this game.
Yes, I had the advantage that I had no bomber squad at my top right mine, and from the extra money I was able to build 2 nebulons to put up way more pressure.
Did it help? You're gonna have to, obviously, like you said, you just built another Corvette here, so you got to keep the pressure up. But you do keep the enemy's mines down, so maybe in this case, like you said, as long as they don't have the money, then, you know, the AI is going to stop spamming units, which will really allow you to get where you need to be. Nice, and wiped off that Boba Fett.
Now I'm getting serious.
The Force is strong with this one.
Oof, it's tartness. Oh. Yeah, one thing I need to do is get back bottom right and destroy the mid mine again. which should be possible with the Nebula. Ah,
Ooh.
but still.
Well, you do have a Corvette there and Han, so luckily you're able to kill it. And luckily they actually built a missile turret. I mean, that actually ended up being more beneficial because if they had a laser turret, it would have... Because you have to play the long-term game, it does more damage, obviously, long-term than it does short-term. So.
Yes. Luckily, they didn't build anything down there. I didn't have vision on there for quite some time. Yeah.
I think that was a very smart decision, putting that second Nebula on there, and you really kind of clean up the AI because you have map control right now, and where they are going for the upper right mine right now with a couple TIE fighters, you're going to be able to secure bottom right.
Yeah.
Ooh, you're gonna have to. Good decision to move that Corvette out of the way because they're like, let's go get that. Go get that mine. Very nice. Mine and turret. Keep the pressure up.
Yeah. There's some acclimators still that need to be destroyed. I don't think I have seen the AI bring in any new units in quite some time, to be honest.
It's been a minute.
Poor Corvette. Oh, there you go. Now it's starting to bring in some units. You're gonna get some good run out of your money with that Corvette, or excuse me, that Nebulon down there. It's yeah, it's completely shredding those acclimators.
Yeah, the acclimator is honestly like one of the most important things on acclimator is getting rid of the turbo lasers. Really good micro there is saving the shields. Because the turbo lasers are the ones that do the most damage. And I'd say maybe after that, what, the concussion missiles?
I'd say the proton torpedo actually, but yeah, I don't know. I think the proton torpedoes does more DPS than the missiles. But don't quote me on that. Because of the difference in fire rate.
Yeah, but don't they shoot 3 concussion missiles, or they shoot 2?
3, I think.
There you go, get Han Solo out.
Yeah, destroy mid-mine again. They don't have it. Nice.
That might have been your saving grace of the game right there, because they didn't have it. If that was built, that would have been problematic. Mm-hmm. Now you get to kill it because they built it right in front of you.
Mm-hmm. And that's game, I think.
Now it's on very slow cleanup duty here. Ooh, but
now they decide.
AI's still not giving up. Sinking 3 bombers to kill mine.
At least it's not 7 again.
7. It's absurd. They didn't kill the mine though. That's interesting. Oh, they even had a TIE fighter. They could have killed the mine too.
Mm-hmm. I mean, probably wouldn't make a difference now. With me having units at every other mine.
Yeah, it preoccupies the AI. They see it, they want to fight it. Now you can tech. There you go.
Yeah, I was thinking about whether I should take up, whether I need to play it safe, but then I felt like there's nothing coming from the AI, so I can just build nebulas and end the game.
That was the same mentality that I had in Land. I was Tech 1 Rebels, and then eventually it was Tech 3 Empire versus Tech 1 Rebels, and I didn't really worry about it because I was like, well, I'm not gonna. I guess like, okay, yeah, it's kind of like, uh-oh, like, you know, they're gonna start getting some really good units out here. What can I do, sort of thing. It's like, okay, well, I'm not gonna overextend myself. I'm just gonna kind of keep map control, and if I lose 1 or maybe 2 areas at most, then I'm like, okay, not a big deal. Like, I can get it back because I slowly decided to tech up and, you know, acquire money and map control, and it allows me to take in those or absorb those losses when those things happen in this case.
Yeah.
It's very nice to have tech. I mean, if you tech the 3, you get Wedge Antilles, and I really think that he'd be super OP versus AI because of his maneuverability, but...
Yeah, he has more DPS against bombers. He has, like, triple the health of a Corvette. He is way quicker. And actually, I think his debuff is pretty good, too. But yeah, Tech 4 is probably the most interesting one for games against the AI, because if you get a few artillery corvettes, broadsides, marauders, you can just end the game then and there.
Ooh, building the upper left mine.
Yeah, it's not in vision by like a millimeter.
Lany's bringing the pressure now. The AI didn't tech this game.
Dude, I had some anger stored up at that point. Yeah, this was something that I thought is intriguing as well. They didn't tech to Tech 3. And I don't know what triggers it, whether they go for it or not.
Oh, you had the AI thing where it revealed the map because you had complete map control? Interesting mechanic Petroglyph built into the game.
Yeah, it works like every unit has a combat value, and when the sum of your unit's combat value is more than 90% of the total of all units on the map, then the map gets revealed. I don't know if it's
only for AI.
Yeah, I don't know if it's 90%, but it's something along those lines. If you are really overwhelming in units on the map, then what was I trying to do here? Oh, lower the sound effects a bit. Okay. Then the map gets revealed for some reason. Probably just to make it easier to catch these AI units that just fly somewhere.
Yeah, it might even have been something that they envisioned putting in multiplayer, but realized it wasn't feasible because, you know, at one point you could have 90% of map control and the game was nowhere near over, and all of a sudden the opponent has reveal on the map, and they probably couldn't revert that per se. But
yeah. I was trying to see how much the cooldown on Lure is, but I'm not playing on the TEM Tournament Edition mod, so I couldn't see that.
Any reason you chose not to play on TEM?
Yes, because I want to have this make this able to be replicated for other people to try it. And the Tournament Edition mod is changing little parts of balance and stuff all the time. So to have it fair and comparable, we should do it on the vanilla version.
Fair enough. Well, good game, sir. You are record is one versus 3 AI, 1 win for Lany, 2 wins for the AI.
Clap, clap, clap. Nice. But this is not over, because I want to send out an invitation to everyone that's watching this. I want to do a speedrun challenge. I've said before, different maps are of different difficulty when playing against 3 hard AI. Endor is pretty hard, as you saw. One map that is rather easy is Kessel. Here, that map.
Interesting.
And because it's rather easy, you can consistently do it. So that leaves space for doing that as a speedrun. Pick 3 hard AI, pick that map, do standard tournament settings, so that's heroes on, 5,000 credits, destroy enemy base, normal game speed, and then go for it. I didn't try hard in this version, I just said I need to show you I can do it on more than one map at that point. But since then we had the idea that this could be a speedrun thingy. I mean, let's see how quick I am in this one. And if someone can beat my time and have a recording of that, then please send it to us, and you will get featured on the Empire community Discord. If I can get my hands on the recording, we can do a commentary on that and put that on YouTube or Twitch or both.
Very nice, very nice.
And yeah, maybe we can get a little speedrun category going there. Same thing again, I tech first because I need that Corvette, I need that Han Solo. And then, yeah. I was debating whether to get that turret, what do you think?
It's interesting. I think maybe not right away. I think I agree with what you did there, just because this is a little bit bigger of a map than Endor And it's nice to have, but when you can apply pressure on other portions, the money saved at the beginning is, well, I think it's just better because you'll be able to put it into a Corvette or build the turret there. That also works too.
Yeah, because
Better
again,
for
I
map
can build
control.
3 things. So if I build that, I can go to both of the enemy mines. And I have contested every point of the map. Now here I try the same thing and go for the turret. Because if I can sneak that in, that's just firepower earlier in the game than I would be otherwise possible.
That's true. Again, better map control.
Oops.
It's nice because you can leave that turret there and not focus really on that part of the map until, you know, the 7 bombers come in. But
No, I think I built the mine up there. Yep.
okay,
And
wait
look
for
at
the
this.
mine before the upgrade.
Yeah, and now you wonder why this is easier. Because the base mines are further away from the Empire player, or from the AI, more generally speaking. And the AI has a habit of changing the destinations of units randomly. So the probability that they actually reach these mines in time is pretty low.
Interesting.
Not low, but just lower, and they will be slower.
Ooh, nice. And you can kill that with your base.
Yeah, that's in range. And now I go back for that turret, as you correctly pointed out in the beginning.
Space station under attack.
I mean, another strategy you could potentially do is you could spam IPV just because it's a little bit cheaper.
Interesting, yeah.
So you can do like 2 or 3 IPV together, and yeah, while their area of fire is much, well, it's probably what, a third of the size of the Corvette. Okay, there you go, bomber spam.
Let's count them.
Well placed Corvette. Rip mine though.
5. Pew!
That mine got instant nuked. Oh man, they got. Whoa. Oh, it was just in fire just to receive all of that from those bombers. My gosh.
Trying to somehow juke them.
Run, little Corvette, run.
But now my engines are running out.
Well, you do have 3,200 credits.
Yeah, I was so occupied with that Corvette that I didn't even spend it.
Targeting. Moving out. On my way. Ready for action. Right away. Corvette moving out. Heading out. I copy. Let's go.
Bomber spam on the pirate base.
Let's move out.
So the AI is just so troll.
Choose your reinforcements.
Okay, Han can deal with that.
Luckily, bombers can't kill Han Solo.
Whew. Lucky for me.
Asteroids ahead. Switch shields to double front. Keep going.
But yeah, the AI is putting up way less pressure because it never had any mines.
Ready for action. What are you thinking? Let's get out of here.
Yeah, it's like a switch. If the AA has mines, they can spam way more than they have credits, and if they don't, well, they don't.
Interesting, and it definitely seems like it's much harder because of that nebula in the middle, and it's
Yeah.
just too detrimental for rebels that if you put a unit there, then it really takes away more than it can provide.
Yeah, also maps where there's a lot of turrets is harder
Turret.
because the AI can just build them practically for free as part of their spamming.
Reinforcements.
That ended up working out that you didn't spawn it there.
Choose your reinforcements.
Okay, next try. Corvette down there.
All right.
Still going okay. I have vision over all the mines. Han can deal with the bombers. I have 2 mines. Money's coming in.
Building under construction.
Underway. What's on your mind?
here, Chewie. Come on, Chewie, let's check it out.
Copy, sir.
Our space station is under attack.
All right.
Would have helped if he held onto that Corvette and put it in upper left instead.
Probably, yeah. I agree. Now for the little exercise. Destroy tartan with Han.
Unit in production.
Standing by.
Why is there... why? Just why? Tell me.
Suicide acclimator. No turret today, Lany.
That was a next level play by the AI. They sent it inside of the asteroid field to live
Reinforcements.
just 1 second longer than it was needed. Ah.
Awaiting orders.
That was AI, just so troll. Just something it would be like, oh well, you know, a player would never do that. An AI, oh no, we'll sack a 2,300 credit unit just to kill a 700 turret by running it into asteroids. Like, yeah, okay. Quantity versus quality. That's
Yeah, troll
that's
face.
Choose your
Yeah, map seems quiet.
Doesn't like waiting either.
beginning construction.
And I think the final assault may begin in a moment. Building Nebulons now, I think.
Let him have it.
That acclimator is actually flying through that tiny speck of space debris.
Help take his shields off.
Construction
Yeah.
complete.
Set a Wookiee. Let's get out of here. All right, you
Construction complete.
You know, Kessel would be a fun 2v2 map.
Reinforcements.
blaster.
Yeah, I agree. We can try that sometime.
Definitely should.
What's on your mind? On it.
Han Solo having his way with a frigate.
Because why not?
Space station damaged.
Getting some good money coming in here.
Yeah. So for speedruns, you should probably spend that. But I think that's fine to have a moderate first benchmark for that map that can be beaten rather easily.
Right.
I mean, provided you are able to beat 3 hard AI.
Nebulon B frigate.
Makes sense. Usually with my strategy in terms of the containment, what I like to do is I like to keep units, like I like to have map control, and then I like to keep units in reinforcement, and then I like to tech, because in case, like, you know, the AI starts applying pressure while I tech, then I can spawn in some units and, you know, defend some areas and,
Choose your
you know, make sure that I get things ready. But in terms of a speedrun, teching is clearly not important, because you need to go kill the base. And
Yep.
all you need is Nebulons, and
Weapons charged.
Yep.
here comes the pressure.
And then 3 Nebulons and Han is probably enough.
damaged.
It would probably be better to attack from a different angle than I did.
Power to shield.
Yeah, you kind of have free shots
Ready for action.
on your Nebulons with the turbo laser, concussion missile, proton missile.
Yeah, and then maybe there's quicker ways like building bombers and taking out the shields. Maybe that's quicker. Ah,
Choose your
the turret is bugged. Doesn't fire.
What happens with that bug?
I have no idea. Sometimes the turrets just stop firing, pretty much. And you can't fix it. At least I don't know of a way to do that. I mean, both. You can't fix it in the code of the game via a mod, and you can't fix it when it happens in-game. If there's a way, if someone knows a way, please tell me. Then we can implement that for the Tournament Edition mod.
It would be nice.
Our space station is under
Priority is the
attack.
laser cannon.
Choose your
On my way.
reinforcements.
Powers again.
Your orders. Yes, Commander. Speed. Let's go. Target those lasers. Swinging around. Ready. At your command. Keep going. Should we go around for another pass?
Really tanky shields on that acclimator after watching that.
Yeah,
Reporting.
Choose
you need to be really close with the Corvette to make the lasers hit.
Over there.
Yeah, otherwise they just spread around.
Yeah.
Ready. Head full. Underway. Corvette moving out. Guns at the ready. Ready to fire. Ready to fire. Heading out. Fall out. Acquiring target. Roger that. Yes, sir. Attack commencing.
Space station
Nebulon B
damaged.
frigate here.
I know.
Yeah, silence falls upon us. I don't remember the time. I'm curious.
Silence falls upon the Empire, one would say,
Oh yeah.
as they perish.
And the Rebel Alliance prevails once more.
Mhm.
But yeah, you could see how this map is way easier than Endor in that mode.
Yeah,
Weapons charged.
much easier.
Much less of the instant bomber spam.
I think he took about 20 minutes for this game.
Maybe
See what it is.
17.
Oh, 11 minutes? Oh,
actually.
okay.
Okay. Felt longer. Yeah, I don't know how the game handles different game speeds, whether the time counts quicker, or whether that is just system clock based. That's why I say for speedruns we do normal medium of the slider game speed. Yeah, so you go ahead and beat that 11 minutes and 35 seconds. Send us the recording, or put the recording on Twitch or somewhere and send us a link if you want. And we can feature that.
Twitch, YouTube. Yeah, let us know. We'd love to feature that. All right, well done, Lany. You, of the 5 games against the AI, won 2, lost 3. But definitely, Kessel, much easier map to play on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if you are a really tough guy, go and try Endor. Can recommend. It's fun.
Flex yourself as Rebels. Well, we should say one thing. The speed run for Rebels that we have for Kessel is 11 minutes and 35 seconds.
Right.
We should differentiate the factions, I say. So.
Yeah, that's true. It's Rebels, it's Kessel, 1 versus 3 hard AIs. Normal game speed, 5,000 credits. Destroy enemy base, heroes enabled. Yeah, I think that's it.
Very
Okay,
good,
nice.
very good.
That's the end of the stream that we have reached. That was fun to rewatch.
Yeah, it was interesting. I learned a lot from just watching the how the AI manipulates space.
Yeah, and I can recommend, just if you want to get better at the game, just do that, because you will train things that you normally can't train that good, which is map control, watching a minimap, being able to predict what the enemy is doing, react, and just micro your units to maximum effectiveness. It's really good training.
It is good training. It really will transition well into the pro game in this case, or competitive gameplay. It's training things that you normally wouldn't train, unless you've just done so many competitive games that it just comes to you over time. Whereas this kind of trains different elements and features of you that you don't, like Lany said, you don't normally get exposed to.
Yeah. Stuff like killing acclimators with corvettes.
One thing is just even your starts. Like, it just helps you kind of get your starts right away. I know a lot of people struggle with, teching right off the bat or moving your units right off the bat. Those are sorts of things that will really, a lot you can practice on and kind of just iron out into where it just becomes natural for you, that you don't really even think too much of it. Because that's the thing. Like, that's when you start differentiating. Like, when you're in the competitive gameplay, like, it seems so hard to be able to move those things. But once you train your mind into your programming, into your like muscle memory, those are things that you go, oh, okay, no big deal. Like, click. There you go.
Same with hotkeys.
Move everything. Yes. Program yourself to do the hotkeys too. That's one thing I recommend.
Maybe you saw, but I did use hotkeys. you never saw my mouse. Yeah, you never saw my mouse. Maybe once or twice, a few times when I have time. But normally you don't see my mouse going down there for anything ability related for the units. Yeah. That concludes it. Thank you, Cyfe, for joining me here in this rebroadcast, and we'll be putting this on YouTube. Hope you enjoyed.
Thank you for having me.
Leave a like, leave a comment, and see you next time.
Take care.